and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Jonathan. Kilmarnock looking to end a 23-year wait for victory in a European tie by progressing against Tromso this evening. It was 2001 against Glenavon of Northern Ireland when Bobby Williamson's side got into the first round of the UEFA Cup. Now Derek McInnes's men seek to negotiate their way into the Conference League playoff round, where either Bannock, Ostrava or Copenhagen lie in wait. Killie haven't won in their 5 games so far this season, and clearly that's something they'll have to change tonight in order to take their place in the next round. The two captains, Kyle Vassell and his Norwegian counterpart Ruben Jensen, just going through the formalities pre-match with the Romanian officials. The referee is Andrei Civuletti. VAR also in operation. Marian Barbu is in the VAR booth for this one, which is very finely poised after that last gasp Bobby Wales equaliser at Rugby Park last week, and it's very much given Kilmarnock an opportunity to go out here and finish the job. Just looking at the Kilmarnock lineup again, which I'll just take you through if you haven't heard it already. It's Robbie McCrory in goal. It's a back four of Joe Wright, Lewis Mayo, Stuart Finlay and Oliver Bainbridge. A midfield four of Danny Armstrong, Brad Lyons, Liam Donnelly and Matty Kennedy, with Kyle Vassell partnering the teenager Bobby Wales up front, looking to add to that first ever club goal with another one tonight out in Tromso. The teams are just about ready to get underway. Kilmarnock in their change navy strip, whereas Tromso back in their red and white striped tops for this one. And they didn't have a game in between the two legs, nor did Brann Bergen, so clearly the Norwegian League trying to give them as much preparation time as possible as they look to try and get through their respective ties. Clearly we hope that Kilmarnock and St Mirren are the ones who can emerge victorious this evening and take their place in the Conference League playoff rounds. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening in Bergen, but it's Tromso who get us underway, and it's already played back to Jakob Haugaard, who, as Jonathan mentioned, played a lot of the first leg outside his penalty area, very confident, and it was something that took Kilmarnock a while to get a grip on. But Cammy, it struck me that in the second half Kilmarnock did get a handle on it. We didn't see him as advanced in that second period, and that's something you would imagine Kilmarnock will try and implement again tonight. Yeah, definitely. I think when they put him under pressure in the second half, there was more rush clearances. It wasn't as clear cut as in the first half. Nobody wanted to go and press the goalkeeper, and it allowed him to play from the back and build a number of attacks and have long periods of possession. So I think Derek McInnes will have looked at that, and that'll be something we'll look at to try and avoid in this second leg. Yeah, I think also that although Killie, as I say, haven't won any of their 5 games, there's maybe a little bit more negativity surrounding that than is deserved. The performances against Cercle Bruges weren't bad by any stretch. A narrow defeat by the Belgians, a defeat at Celtic Park with a makeshift team almost, with 2 or 3 injuries to contend with, not dreadful either, and even the defeat by St Johnstone, clearly a 3-0 home defeat's never a good one, but there was that early red card. So there have been mitigating circumstances, and the 2 each draw at Rugby Park against tonight's opposition also had its positive aspects. So this, as I say, is very finely poised as Tromso dominate the early possession, and then forward comes Goodall from the back. Kilmarnock just sitting in just at the moment, but it's Jensen coming forward, trying to link a nice 1-2 in there, and a good challenge in the end comes in to knock it behind for a goal kick. It was a necessary intervention there. I think it was Finlay who got his toe in, was it? There's Bainbridge going back there, Stephen.
It felt like Tromso were just knocking it about, as if they were just kind of trying to take the sting out of any early pressure, and then with a click of a button they come through, and I think they almost caught Kilmarnock out at the speed of that attack.
So corner kick first of the game, right hand side, swung in from that right. It's Bainbridge again who gets to it first, and it's met on the volley at the edge of the box, well off target in the end. Is Tromso's captain Ruben Jensen tried the volley, but still 0-0 in these early stages.
Yeah, just going back to that early opportunity there for the ball through from Tromso, and Bainbridge was on his toes. He was well aware of it. I was actually really impressed, Al, when he started at Celtic Park, his first senior start. I was a little bit worried when I heard that before the game, but he handled the occasion really well. Looks a good left back, good solid left back, and he started this game well as well.
Yeah, he hasn't played since that game at Celtic Park, but yeah, likewise, having covered that game with you, I think we were both quite impressed by how quickly he adapted, given it was his first ever senior appearance. Here come Kilmarnock looking to try and make an impression at the other end in the early stages, but it's gone behind for a goal kick as Bobby Wales tried to make some inroads. But it's a big game for him tonight, Stephen, a big occasion.
Yeah, big occasion. He had me fooled there. I think he was trying to fool the ref. He looked absolutely sure it was a corner. But yeah, a huge game, as I said. A massive vote of confidence from Derek McInnes. Having options, could have put an extra midfielder in, could have went with Innes Cameron. But he is a confident boy. I came across him when he was a young player in at Kilmarnock, and he backed himself, and he'll have thought he's earned the right to play here. Obviously the team lose again at the weekend, and scored that important goal last week. Why not? Give me that jersey and I'll see if I can keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. 12 goals for Alloa in League One last season on loan, and hopefully that's just helped him develop somewhat, and now will feel part of the Kilmarnock first team squad, and part of the first team indeed tonight, starting 11 as Tromso have the throw in on the halfway line, left hand side. It's Jörg Paintsil, who started at right wing back last week, but he's moved across to the left, where he did play some of the game at Rugby Park after the introduction of Leo Cornic, who starts the game tonight. A new signing, Cornic, from Rosenborg, and it's his first start actually for his new side, coming in from Rosenborg. Played both legs against Hearts last season in the qualifiers. It's a free kick to Kilmarnock inside their own half. The Romanian referee looks a bit of a stickler in these early exchanges. The ball goes back to Robbie McCrory.
I wonder if that's been a message from Derek McInnes after the Rangers game the other night, just about European referees and being different rules at times with the type of tackles you can go in for.
Yeah, well, let's hope that there are no moments of controversy as there were at Hampden on Tuesday, as Tromso come forward down the right hand side. The initial challenge from Bainbridge holds the attacker up down that right hand side. It was Cornic who was making the advance. Now it's back with Skjervik, angles it out to the right hand side once more. Tromso trying to find a shooting opportunity. It's good play by Kierto Dahl, who impressed both Cammy and myself at Rugby Park last week, but there's no way through in the end, and Kilmarnock break up the other end, but Wales can't get onto it, and picked up by Mamadou Barry over on the right hand side, and at right centre back for Anders Jensen, who I think we both felt last week Cammy was probably the weak link in that back line, and well, they've made steps to try and shore that up this week.
Yeah, he was the weak link, Al. There was a number of times he gave the ball away, waited far too long before playing his pass, and as we said before, they like to play through the lines, and he was a weak link. So, but again, it's these white guys that Matty Kennedy on the ball, they're the ones that you want to get on the ball and get at these full-backs.
Brian, an early breakthrough in Bergen.
It's a goal for Brand coming after just 5 minutes. The ball played into the box by Castro. Joachim Solvit, left-footed shot low beyond the Saints goalkeeper Ellery Balcom. That comes just after St Mirren had a big opportunity. It was a volley from Sean Rooney over the crossbar, but Brand have the early advantage here. It's Brand 1, St Mirren 0.
Bad news coming in from that part of Norway. Stephen, I think you were kind of fearful of such a scenario, having seen them at the Smicer Stadium last week.
Yes, they were really impressive, and I think Ellie Balcom, we give him a lot of credit. I think he'll be disappointed how easily it seems to go in. He's near post, but yeah, they threatened to do that in Paisley. They came out, the traps flying, they created a number of opportunities, and if it wasn't for his brilliance, it might have happened in Paisley. Such a disappointing start. I mean, they're looking to be so much better than they were last week.
So 1-0 Bergen on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. We'll keep you up to date. Brian McLaughlin out there for us. He'll bring us any other major action, but we're concentrating on Tromso against Kilmarnock. 0-0 on the night after 7.5 minutes, 2-2 on aggregate as Skjervik picks it up on the halfway line. Kilmarnock well organised, looking to try and prevent Tromso from building from the back.
I said to Cammy at times, Derek McInnes likes to go man for man. Ollie Bainbridge seems to be in the park and Matt Kennedy almost in a left back position. You wonder if he's maybe just said for the first 10-15 minutes, get a man, let's get a foothold in this game.
There's a free kick to Kilmarnock for the offside given against Lasse Nordaas, who was a key figure for Tromso, scoring the second goal on the counter-attack last week. At the other end, though, at the moment, it's Vassell out to Kennedy. Kennedy left-hand side, into the box it comes, but it's a comfortable take for Jakob Hausgaard in the Tromso goal. And it remains, after 8.5 minutes, Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 0.
Bit of play from Kilmarnock again. It kind of starts from Vassell, getting his body in front. He done that a number of times last week, made it difficult. Gets the ball out to Kennedy, who wants to take the full back on and manages to get the cross in. It just wasn't the quality he was looking for. Too easy for the goalkeeper and far too close to him.
Here's Lyons, right hand side is Danny Armstrong, just plays that off Paintsill and takes the throw in. Armstrong, who fell the referee at the weekend, penalised for diving in what was a debatable decision. He's such a key figure for Kilmarnock. We discuss that just about every time we watch them. And Kilmarnock have won themselves a corner, the long ball over the left, down the left-hand side, and it's nodded behind by Barry. And Killie will have the opportunity here to try and get themselves the opening goal.
Yeah, again, it's just a long, straight ball, but again, the key factor is Bobby Wales wants to run behind and forces the defender to have to defend and head it clear, and it gets Kilmarnock up the pitch and an opportunity to whip the ball in the box. It looks like Danny Armstrong's going to take this one.
Left-hand side, left foot of Armstrong will curl this one out the way. And the referees get something to say about, I think, just the position of the ball.
Ball's on this spot.
Right on the line. Yeah. There's absolutely no problem with that. Danny Armstrong's having to move it back into the arc. That's absolutely not necessary, but the referee making him do so. Here comes Armstrong then into the penalty area. Comes the header, comes in there. It's in!
Yes!
Come on, do have the opening goal. It's Joe Wright, ordered off at the weekend, and all of a sudden Sinner becomes saint as Kilmarnock, just as they did at Rugby Park, get the early opener from the corner kick. Wright rose highest, and it looked as though the keeper had got a fingertip to it to take it onto the crossbar, but somehow it ends in the back of the net. It's Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1.
Well done, the referee, because if he hadn't been pernickety about where Danny Armstrong had the ball, it looked as if they were going to work a short corner routine with Matt Kennedy going out for a short corner. Because of that, Tromso switched on to maybe a short corner. Danny Armstrong's just put it in the middle, and a brilliant header from Joe Wright. The goalkeeper gets a touch, but up into the roof of the net. Brilliant start, Kilmarnock.
Yeah, it's a brilliant ball in the box, and Joe Wright just he holds his run late and he arrives perfectly timed. The defender can't stay with him, and it's a brilliant header into the back of the net. What a start for Killie.
Well, absolutely ideal start. As we said last week about this time, here come Tromso looking for an immediate equaliser. Good stop from Robbie McCrory to deny Nordaas. And it was Romsas who got the shot away. The flag is up and would have denied him in any case, but Robbie McCrory did that as well as Tromso looked to strike back. Not sure it was the right decision by the assistant, right enough.
Yeah, it's very, very tight again, but it's a really good save from Robbie McCrory. Doesn't know he's offside, as you say, Al, and he makes the save at the near post, and it'll give him every confidence going into this game. He's conceded a lot of goals since he's came to Killie, so a good start from Robbie.
Yeah, really important that Kilmarnock don't lose an equaliser. Having just gone in front, they want to try and consolidate this lead and frustrate their hosts. So 3-2 now it stands on aggregate, with Kilmarnock with the early strike from Joe Wright. First goal of the season. I'm sure that he was probably pretty apologetic in the changing room at Rugby Park at the weekend, having been shown 2 yellows, a rash second challenge, an experienced defender you'd imagine should really have known better than to dive in as he did, but he's done the job at the other end for his side so far this evening with the opening goal. Tromso play it forward. It's Nordas and then Romsas linking well, the front pairing. Little tug in the jersey there by Finlay, and the referee spotted it, and it will be a free kick to Tromso midway inside the Kilmarnock half. 1-0 Killy after 13 minutes.
Well, this Bainbridge is going all the way in with one of the strikers again, and I think it's a good enough foul. I think Tromso don't really have it under control, but a very dangerous situation. It's not a bad foul to give away.
Yeah, Bainbridge is tracking his man right in the park, as you say, Stephen, getting taken out of that left back spot. So it will be a free kick in a pretty central area, but well out, about 40 odd yards away from goal. But it's dinked in towards the back post, and it was Goodall who tried to knock it back into the danger area, but it was just too much in the free kick from Antonsen. And Goodall can only divert it behind for a goal kick. So after almost 14 minutes out in Tromso, it's still Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1.
It's been a good start for Killy, obviously, getting that goal, but I feel as if they've felt their way into the game. They're pretty comfortable, and they understand the opposition now, and I think they're probably a little bit surprised by the way Tromso played last week. Possibly took them a little bit by surprise, so they'll be delighted, and Derek McInnes will be delighted with the start.
Sure will. Nordas finds himself over at right back now to help mop up, with Mayo initially making the challenge there. There's Paintsill, and now it's Antonsen. Picked up in the middle of the park and then played down the left hand side by Jensen into that channel area. Antonsen back into the box it goes, away by right. Kilmarnock pick up on the halfway line. Armstrong trying to help it on, doesn't get the connection he was looking for, and it's Goodall, left centre back, who plays it forward, and then all the way back to his goalkeeper from Mamadou Barry, the teenager at right centre back for the home side. And Jakob Hausgaard has it at 20 yards from his goal. Just invites Kilmarnock onto him before playing the pass, and then Skjervik just steps forward. Down the right hand side comes Tromso. Barry once more picks up, turns it back into his own half. He's got Jensen inside of him, his captain. Over the halfway line comes the central midfielder, tries the straight ball through the middle as well, cut out, and now Kelly trying to pounce on the counter there. Vassell just unable to get there before the keeper makes the clearance. Tromso pick up through Paintsill. Back in field to Jensen. Everything tends to go through Jensen in the middle of the park. Paintsill plays it down the left once more. Knocked out of play by Lewis Mayo. Tromso coming down the left once more. It's Paintsill almost at the goal line. It's the ball into Antonsen at the edge of the box on the left hand side. Antonsen forced back the way though. Good play by Bainbridge again. Well, it was
I think he must be doing a man marking job. He must be. I can't make any other sense of that. He's following him absolutely everywhere about the pitch. So Derek McInnes plays quite fluid formations. As you see now in the pictures, that Matty Kennedy's in the left back position with the right wing back.
Bainbridge is all the way over in right back, and as you say, Stephen, there must have been a real threat that they wanted to nullify, and just made it clear that he stays with him, because he has done it the whole of the first half so far.
Played forwards by Skjervik. Now it's Paintsill, left hand side, challenged by Armstrong. He's away from him though, and he's away from right as well. Then he goes down just in the edge of the box. The referee's happy though that the ball was taken by Joe Wright as he made the challenge. It had to be spot on as he was almost at the edge of the penalty area there. Paintsill, was a good run from him, but back in the arms safely of Robbie McCrory. Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1, 17 minutes played.
Yeah, it was a good run. He got past Danny Armstrong far too easily for me. He needs to do a little bit more, and Joe Wright kind of bails him out, because that attack could have become costly for Kilmarnock. He was travelling, trying to get in the box, but it was a decent challenge from Joe Wright.
Yeah, it was. It had to be just on the money. He was about to make his way into the penalty area. Armstrong's won it on the halfway line now, right hand side for Kelly, trying to weave his way past Antonsen and Paintsel. He's done well. He's poked it forward to Vassell, now back with Lyons, and then Armstrong once more. Crossing opportunity, goes to the back post, too close to the keeper though. Comes out to the edge of his 6-yard box and claims that one.
A lot's been made about the defensive mistakes that Kilmarnock are making, but part of the reason they've had a slow start to the season, that I think has been Kennedy and Armstrong performances. They've not really got going. I don't know if it's missing Marley Watkins, but they have to be better. Danny Armstrong's so much better than just flinging that aimless cross for the goalkeeper to collect.
Still 1-0, Bran Bergen out against St Mirren, 2-1 on aggregate in that one. We've also played just under 17 minutes. We're at the 18-minute mark. Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1 on the night. Tromso have it though. They won't be panicking as yet. They came back from a goal down to lead 2-1 until the final seconds at Rugby Park before Bobby Wales' goal drew them level. Here's Skjervik just inside Kilmarnock half, out to the left hand side for Antonsen. Antonsen on the left foot, crosses it, it's a back post ball, it's a good ball and it's hacked away. And by Donnelly, I think it was, back there almost off the line, as the ball was played dangerously back across the 6-yard box, and Donnelly clear before Tromso could pounce for the equaliser. At the other end, Killie have one possession, and then there's a free kick given their way as Wales is doing some good work, and it's Cornish who's been penalised there on the halfway line. A bit of a scare at the other end though.
Yeah, again it was a high ball into the back post, and I think Donnelly's done really well. He reads the situation, understands where the ball can potentially drop, and manages to almost clear it off the line. But Kilmarnock just need to be a little bit more aware of that ball into the box and the positional play around about the players with Tromso going forward.
I think Bobby Wales can be pleased with his start. A few times he's picked up those second balls, won fouls, got the ball out to Armstrong and Kennedy. I think he's a really strong start, the young man.
Kennedy comes forward down the left hand side. He's done really well. He gets to the goal line, he's cut it infield onto the right foot, takes a deflection and wide for a corner. Brilliant play from Matty Kennedy, and so close to a second Kilmarnock goal.
Yeah, brilliant play from Matty, and he faces the defender up, and as Stephen says, he maybe not hit the heights this season that he did last season so far, but that's much more like Matty Kennedy, wanting to take players on 1v1, gets into the box, really positive, gets his shot away, and it was deflected for a corner.
This is the exact position from which Danny Armstrong created the opening goal. This one goes near post, flicked on it the second time of asking, but straight behind by Brad Lyons. It's a goal kick to Tromso. We're 20 minutes into this one, and the good news is that it's Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1.
This is my first. Obviously I watched Bran last weekend. You can see league tables don't lie. You can see that Tromso aren't at the level of Bran, but they're still a decent side. They're still technically good, but if Kilmarnock can get into those situations, bring those centre halves out into the wide areas, and Kennedy and Armstrong can be really key in this game.
Yeah, Tromso, as you rightly point out, Stephen, 13th in the Norwegian League. And it's been a really poor season for them domestically so far, having finished third last season. But just 5 wins from their 18 games so far, just outside the relegation playoff spot at the moment, in fact. Just 1 point above the bottom two. So not going to plan for them this season, not going to plan for them tonight thus far, but very much going to plan for Derek McInnes with his side leading by a goal to 0. The ball is in the arms of the Kilmarnock goalkeeper Robbie McCrory. Just rolls it out of the penalty area, then kicks it long up towards Vassell. Vassell manages to get it back to Donnelly. Donnelly out to the left hand side where Kennedy has plenty of space. Midway inside the Tromso half, up against Cornish, takes him on the outside. Cornish blocks the attempted cross, and it's out for a throw-in over on the far side, the Kilmarnock left. Throw in here to be taken by Bainbridge. Ollie Bainbridge, been on loan from Sunderland in the summer, making just his second start for the club. It's gone behind for a goal kick. So at the midway point in the first period, Kilmarnock have the advantage, leading by Joe Wright's early goal to 0.
What I would say the difference between, certainly from Kilmarnock's point of view from last week, is that the press is much better. They're pressing as a team. I think Kilmarnock were a little bit spooked to how much Tromso wanted to play out. They didn't understand when to go and press. It was individuals pressing but not pressing as a team. I think they've done that much better in this first half.
first example of Jakob Haugaard coming almost up to the halfway line to play the ball forward. It wasn't a great ball though, and Kilmarnock pick up on the halfway line. Vassell with a poor pass though, can't pick out a teammate, and this is Antonsen picking up now, coming forward down the left channel. Down goes Romsas off the ball, and it was Danny Armstrong who was the man who made contact with him. The referee's having a word with him. It is a free kick to Tromso midway inside the Kilmarnock half, and you can see just in the replay that we're watching, Armstrong just dragging him to the ground.
I don't know what he's complaining about. It's very petulant. It's a silly foul to give away. It's the type of situation the manager wants at the other end. He doesn't want to be defending free kicks in this area, so you don't know what caused it, but very petulant from Danny Armstrong there.
Yeah, just as he was running back to recover his man, he just dragged him to the ground. There was no real reason for it, and it's presented Tromso with an opportunity here about 35 yards from the goal line, left of centre, but it's really an opportunity to put the ball in the box as they look for a leveller on 23.5 minutes. Antonsen and Hjertodal, the tall teenager who hasn't really been in this game so far, but he was very impressive at Rugby Park. So it's either the left foot of Antonsen or the right of Hjertodal as Kilmarnock hold the line on the edge of the box. It is Antonsen who curls it in dangerously all the way to the back post, back across goal. Unfortunately for Kilmarnock, it's one of their players in the shape of Bobby Wales who's there to just launch it over the halfway line. That could have fallen anywhere, and it could well have been a leveller, and Danny Armstrong will be mightily relieved that his needless free kick he gave away comes to nothing.
Yeah, it was a good quality ball into the box, nice and flat for his attackers to go and get the head on. Kilmarnock just about do enough to defend it. As Stephen said, it was a really silly foul to give away in such a dangerous position from Danny Armstrong.
I think that's a sitter. Stuart Finlay just gets caught under the ball, and I think it's a right wing back corner. I think he's got to score that.
Hjertodal teases it into the penalty area, but he's got his angles wrong there, and it's straight behind for a goal kick. So yeah, it definitely goes down as a let-off for Kilmarnock, that one.
Yeah, I think the number of bodies that are in front of him, it's possibly he doesn't see it till the last minute, and as you say, he can clearly make contact and get towards goal, but thankfully from a Kilmarnock point of view, he doesn't do it.
Still 1-0 Brambergen against St Mirren, 2-1 on aggregate, 3-2 Kilmarnock lead on aggregate after 25 minutes. Joe Wright's goal has them in front in the sunshine in the north of Norway, as McCrory clears from the goal kick flicked on by Vassell. Wales will go and try and put pressure on Barry there, but it's gone all the way through to Haugaard in the Tromso goal.
You can see there's not a lot between the teams. The goals came from a set piece. You just don't want to be inviting any sort of pressure. It's going to be a really tight game. Don't give them an opportunity to put the ball into your box, because at this level they're going to have the quality to put it into the areas you don't want it to go.
Tromso have it at the back. It's Goodall out to the right hand side for Barry, and then back to his goalkeeper at the edge of his box. Plays it quickly to Skjervik, who will bring it up towards the halfway line. Plays it down the left hand side for Paintsill. Back again to Skjervik, advancing though midway into the Kilmarnock half. Kilmarnock sitting very deep, allowing him to come forward. Now out to the left hand side to Paintsill again. And it's played back to Romsas. Romsas back to Paintsill as Tromso build patiently on that left hand side. Now here Todal, back to Skjervik, still on the left hand side about 35 yards from goal. Paintsill now looking to get a run at Danny Armstrong, then plays the 1-2 with Antonsen almost at the corner flag. Now it's Paintsill back with Antonsen once more, left hand side, plays it back to Skjervik again about 40 yards from goal, plays it up to the edge of the penalty area into the feet of Nordas. Kilmarnock able to get a foot in and knock it over the halfway line as Tromso pick up once more and look to build further pressure in search of a first half equaliser. 26, almost 27 minutes played. They trail by Joe Wright's goal to nil as Skjervik arrows it out to the right hand side to Cornish. He plays it back to Barry about 30 yards from the goal line, chips it forward. Here's Todal almost at the goal line now, right hand side, plays it into the feet of Nordas. He's dispossessed. Kilmarnock pick up only momentarily. It's Barry now at the edge of the box trying to find room for the shot. He stumbles and then it's poked away, but only as far there is Goodall, who immediately plays it on to Antonsen. Back now with the Jensen. Tromso keeping on the pressure just at the moment. Kilmarnock struggling to get out, sitting very, very deep. Vassell's the furthest advanced Kilmarnock player, and he's midway inside his own half as Skjervik picks up once again, plays the ball forwards, but again there's a Kilmarnock foot in, only momentarily do they have possession though. It's back out with Cornish, and then Barry, right hand side, just rolls it back into the feet here of Hjertodal. Now Goodall arrows it out from right, looking to the left. Joe Wright trying to chest it back to his goalkeeper, and he gets it all wrong, and it's behind for a corner kick. Joe Wright and Robbie McCrory exchanging words there. Well,
you don't mind it. He's tried to chest it back to them. Kilmarnock get into a couple of minutes, get into a spell where they were just defending, they were just giving the ball back to Tromso. He's got nothing to head to. All Kilmarnock players on the final third. He's trying to chest it back to Robbie McCrory. He's not quite got there. Corner kick to Tromso.
28 minutes played, 1-0 Killy out in Norway as Jens Hjertodal, the 18-year-old, prepares to take this corner from the Tromso left, right-footed, and it comes to the back post. Barry meets it, takes a deflection, and a kind deflection into the arms of Robbie McCrory, and so it will remain Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1.
Yeah, it was an opportunity there for Tromso. He just loses his man. I think it's Joe Wright potentially picking up, and Joe Wright just does enough to kind of react and get his body in the way and takes a sting out of the header, and it just falls into Robbie McCrory's hands. But as Stephen said, there was a lot of defending there for a long period of time, and listen, Kilmarnock have done that against good teams, Celtic and Rangers obviously in a league here in Scotland, and they know how to do it. It's just about keeping your concentration, keeping your shape, and they've done that well for that period of play.
Still 1-0 Brambergen, but it was a great ball played in just a moment ago by Sean Rooney, which had no takers at this game. Tromso coming forward, and Robbie McCrory again called into action to smother at the feet of Lasse Nordas, and I think he might require a bit of attention here. I think the home fans reckon there's maybe a bit of gamesmanship going on here, as Kilmarnock already look to kill a few seconds as the half-hour mark ticks around. But again, Nordas, he's dangerous. I think it was, if anyone, Bainbridge that catches Robbie McCrory. He was on the cover there. Yeah,
I think it is. I think Nordas has given Bainbridge a little bit of a nudge into Robbie McCrory, but Robbie McCrory does really well there. Very brave, comes out, makes sure the ball's his and gets a good grasp on it. But I think the Kilmarnock defenders kind of claiming that Nordas gave him a little nudge into it. Not a lot in it for me.
All credit to Bainbridge as well. I don't think he's been tasked with one player in general to man. Almost as if they move to back three and he moves into the midfield, and he picks up that guy in between the gap, in between defence and midfield. And for a new player, such a young player, to be given that task, I think he's doing an excellent job at it in the first 30 minutes.
Just seen another rerun of the goal that separates the sides at the moment, and Joe Wright's header, I certainly thought it took a deflection earlier, but the replay I've just seen makes me think that it might not have been heading on target before it comes off Vetle Skjervik. I mean, I'm not going to take the goal away from Joe Wright at this stage, but nonetheless, regardless of how it ended up in the back of it, the main thing is that Kilmarnock have the advantage.
Listen, it's all about, as I said before, he's late running into the box, and it just creates that little bit of panic in there, and no matter how it went, but in the back of the net, Kilmarnock are absolutely delighted with their start to this game.
Here's Donnelly out to Kennedy, just at the angle of the box, back onto the right foot, gets a shot away, it's blocked, comes back to Wales, who passes to Armstrong. His shot is charged down, and Bainbridge picks up inside the area. Kennedy trying to get through a couple of challenges. Eventually there's a foul by Bainbridge, and Tromso get the free kick, but that was good Kilmarnock pressure. A couple of shots got in there that were blocked, but it's good that they're able to get up the park, so they don't want to spend the next hour of this game defending that one-goal lead.
Exactly, and I think that's what Derek McInnes envisaged. Both wingers, Armstrong is the first shot, Armstrong with the second. Just having those spaces out wide that you can pick up. There's Bainbridge again, picking up that second ball, doing an excellent job.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Bainbridge. I think he started this game and hopefully continue it really, really well. Very confident on the ball, and as Stephen says, he's been tasked with a difficult one where he has to follow the three man in midfield and pick it up, and he's started the game brilliantly.
Yeah, it's a big vote of confidence for him from the manager, given that you've got the likes of Robbie Dees who can occupy that role. Derek McInnes saying pre-match that if they were going to swap to the 3 or 5 at the back, that he would be the best place to do that, but Robbie Dees can certainly play on the left hand side as well. Anyway, it's Bainbridge who's got the nod, and he's done well in this opening 32 minutes. Kilmarnock still leading by a goal to nil. Joe Wright with a header, which took a deflection off Skjervik, but we'll continue to give credit to the Kilmarnock player until informed otherwise. It's Tromso though coming forward down the left-hand side. It's Paintsill back to Antonsson. He has to go back the way to Skjervik, who didn't certainly know much about it as it came off him and beat his goalkeeper. Here's Paintsill.
Desperate to get that goal taken off.
Just a stickler for accuracy, Stephen, that's all.
Okay.
But Kilmarnock just thump it long, and out of his goal comes Haugaard. Plays it short to Goodall. Goodall crosses the halfway line. Vassell goes and puts him under pressure now. Goodall out to the left-hand side for Paintsill. Paintsill back the way to Skjervik. Skjervik able to advance up towards the edge of the penalty area, just threads it into the feet there of Nordas. Then Jensen tries to tease it through. Antonsson gets the shot off. Caught it with the outside of the left foot. It was swerving back towards the goal, but not enough, and it's wide, and it remains Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1, 3-2 in aggregate.
Yeah, it was a good passage of play from Tromso. They managed to get the ball into striker position, bounce it back, and as you say, you just can't get enough action with that left foot to curl it back in and round towards the goal. But Kilmarnock just don't want to invite too much pressure. They seem very deep at that point there, and they're allowed Tromso to come forward into shooting positions.
And Tromso fans don't look too perturbed at the fact that they're a goal down, still bouncing away behind one of the goals as Robbie McCrory prepares to take the goal kick. 34 minutes played, and Kilmarnock with the advantage, as they did have at this stage in the first leg. Vassell does well against Goodall, plays out to Armstrong right hand side, midway inside the Tromso half. Now it's Lyons. Lyons will try and switch play to Bainbridge, which he does. Bainbridge about 10 yards inside Tromso territory. Will just go back the way to Finlay, and Finlay quickly square to Mayo on the halfway line. Mayo back out here to Armstrong, midway again inside Tromso half. Paintsill tries to close him down, teased in towards the edge of the penalty area. Vassell goes down looking for a free kick, not given, but Lyons has won it about 25 yards from goal. Now Bainbridge left hand side out to Kennedy. Kennedy attacking Cornish. There's another Tromso player out there, it looks like Hierto Dahl with him, and Kennedy's done well. He's played it off Cornish, and it will be another Kilmarnock corner kick, and Kennedy has, when he's been on the ball, he's looked threatening.
The biggest difference is when Vassell's able to hold up that ball, the difference it makes to Kilmarnock. Brad Lyons, Liam Donnelly are able to get up and support and freeze up those wide mans. It's such a massive role for the captain. He's up against both defenders at times, but if he can bring the Kilmarnock up the park, it makes such a difference.
Yeah, this time it's a short corner. Kennedy back for Armstrong. Armstrong into the area, tries to cut it back for Vassell. He just got his angles wrong, and Jensen was in the way. Looked like he had the opportunity there, Armstrong, and the time to pick a man. He wasn't able to do so, but Kilmarnock have recycled it, and it's back out with Kennedy left hand side, cutting in from that left onto his right, then back onto the left, chops nicely, glanced on at the near post, I think by Wales. He couldn't get enough direction on it to threaten the goalkeeper, and it's Antonsson keeping the ball in play and doing well in a tight area. Gets it back, and it's cleared by Skjervik. Good challenge though by Mayo to win it back. Tromso have it once more, play it down the left hand side. Wright just trying to see it out of play. He manages to do that, and he's wrestled to the ground there by a frustrated Antonsson. And I'm not sure if this has actually been given as a free kick, as Wright was thrown to the ground there in a wrestling move. Play is resumed in any case as Kilmarnock have it. Barry gets his head to the ball to knock it away from the edge of the penalty area. Kilmarnock though again having just a bit of attacking possession. There's a good save out in Bergen from Balcom there to keep that score at 1-0. Bran.
It's Matty Kennedy again. He's just bringing that real spark to the Kilmarnock side, just up, winning the ball back, really wanting to go at the defenders, and him and Danny Armstrong were very creative from that corner kick. It just didn't quite fall for Vassell. I think Danny maybe could have made a different decision, and he was so close to the goal and the byline, he could have just fired it across.
Ball comes in at the back post. It's Vassell. He can't get it on target. I'm not sure that there's a flag up either, and I think it would have counted had he been able to angle that one on target. He's racing in at the back post here.
It's a brilliant ball in from Liam Donnelly. Joe Wright should maybe do better, but if Kyle Vassell can get anything on target, it's an absolute goal. I think it's a difficult one to take, but much better from Kilmarnock in terms of the final third play.
it wasn't quite clear from that replay whether Wright actually got a touch on it. I thought initially he had, and if he did, I think Vassell would have been judged offside. If he didn't, he would have definitely been on. And
yeah, but what it does tell us, it's them balls into the box. If there's good quality comes in the box, that's a real threat for Kilmarnock. Vassell, his presence up there, but I think they've got to do more of that. Tromso don't look particularly great when the ball comes into the box. They look a little bit shaky, so more of that, please.
It's Tromso though coming forward as Goodall gets it through there for Hjertodal to get the shot off. Took a deflection. Referee, I think, has given a goal kick and a shake of the head from the Norwegian teenager.
He knows it was a Kilmarnock ball. I think he was doing the old bluff, yeah, it's our ball.
I thought it was a Tromso corner, no? Let's have a look at the replay here as Hjertodal.
I think Stephen's right on that one, Al.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it hits off the striker's feet.
Do you? I'm pretty sure that comes off the defender's foot, but anyway, we'll take it. We'll take anything that's going for Kilmarnock as they lead by a goal to nil. The 6.5 minutes of the first period remaining, and really important that they try and get in with this lead intact. Tromso have it though as Skjervik plays it out to the left-hand side for Paintsill. Paintsill comes forward and then plays it back infield to Skjervik, who's been allowed to advance into Kilmarnock territory pretty often. He has it midway inside their half right now. Eventually Vassell trots across to try and close him down. This pass comes off to Romsas, who's dropped deep, coming in off that left-hand side. Antonsen plays it back to Skjervik, left-hand side for Tromso, looking for a way through to create the equaliser. Paintsill once more left-hand side, up against Wright, fires it across goal. Not a bad ball in, but it's Mayo who gets it clear. Vassell can't get onto it though, and Skjervik finds Goodall, who's also allowed to come forward from centre-back, chips that in. It's a difficult-looking ball for his centre-forward to try and do anything with. Nordash just able to flick it on into the possession of Robbie McCrory. I don't think he would have thanked his centre-back there for the pass forward. And now what's the referee pointing for here? He's indicating for an indirect free kick inside the Kilmarnock area. What is he penalising Robbie McCrory for here?
I think he's gave a pass back, has he? But it came off the head, surely. I'm unsure what he's given here.
He's definitely given an indirect free kick. What on earth it's for is another matter, as Kyle Vassell, the captain, comes across to seek explanation. Let's have another look. I mean,
I genuinely don't know, because the position he's gave...
I think he's thought that McCrory caught it and then put it down and then lifted it again.
So he picks it up and he's coming
towards...
He
doesn't catch it, he pushes it down. Cameo.
That's a strange... a real strange decision, that one.
Very bemusing. And if this results in a goal, Kilmarnock are going to be absolutely incandescent, because that is every bit as strange as the second yellow card that was shown.
He just patched it down. I think that what Stephen's saying is right, is possibly what he thinks it is, that he's caught it and dropped it again and then picked it up. But he's absolutely not done that. It's a crazy decision from the referee.
So the free kick is almost on the goal line on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Kilmarnock get plenty of bodies back now. 4 minutes till the interval.
In a week of bad decisions, I think that's one of the worst I've ever seen.
Well, could get worse if it results in the equaliser. Bannica Strava are going a goal up against Copenhagen. That ties it up on aggregate, 1 each. That's who the winners of this one will face, as Antonsen prepares to take this corner kick a couple of yards in. Well, fortunately it's resulted in no real danger. It's repelled by the Kilmarnock wall and out for a throw in this near side, and hopefully Kilmarnock can properly see off the danger from the throw-in as well. But very, very strange period there as Hjertodal picks up just outside the penalty, glances it goalwards. There's Cornish from the ball in from Hjertodal, but he can't find the target, and so after 42 minutes it remains Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1, 3-2 on aggregate.
Yeah, Matty Kennedy at the back post, just as the ball comes in, does enough, just gets underneath the player to put him off, so he can't get enough on the header towards the goal. But yeah, going back to that decision, it's such a strange decision. Thankfully, it's not cost Kilmarnock at all. I think our Scottish referees are looking better and better as we watch these European games this week.
From a mad decision, so it goes from Robbie McCrory, who's in safe possession, you end up having to defend an indirect free kick in your own box, a dangerous cross into the back post, so frustrating.
So for a throw in to Kelly, 2.5 minutes left in this first period, but 4 minutes left out in Bergen, where St Mirren are still very much in that tie, losing by a goal to nil on the night, 2-1 on aggregate, but they will feel, as long as it's just a goal in it, that they can come back as they did in the first leg. So for another throw into Kilmarnock on the left-hand side, to be taken by Ollie Bainbridge, the 19-year-old left back for Kelly.
I think it's worth noting how good a job Matty Kennedy's doing, because, as we said, Bainbridge is coming in the park all the time. Matty Kennedy's finding himself in that left wing position. Cornick's very advanced and he's doing his job very well defensively.
We spoke about it before, that Matt Kennedy and Danny Armstrong, they've got to be so disciplined to play in a Derek McKinnon side that they need to do their work back of the pitch. We know how good they are going forward, but they work ever so hard for the team going back as well.
But 90 seconds remaining in this first period, plus any added on time, as Tromso have it at the back through Goodall, coming up to the halfway line, closed down by Vassell. Pops it out to the left for Skjervik. Skjervik points where he wants Jensen to go. Jensen now picks up, plays up towards the edge of the penalty area. Donnelly half deals with it, then he's helped out at the back by Mayo. Wright plays it further forward down the right hand side. Vassell will go and challenge for this. He's done well, he's got away from Goodall, then sliding in comes Barry. Vassell picks him up once more. Incredible stuff from Kyle Vassell. They almost got away from two very similar challenges. Eventually though, Tromso win it back, and then the sliding challenge comes in from Bainbridge. It's a good one, and Kennedy's managed to keep that in. There's a Tromso player down, but Kilmarnock continuing in possession as well they might. It's Kennedy goes for goal, and Vassell's just inches away from making contact with that as it comes across the box. Well, the Tromso fans are booing because Kilmarnock played on, but Tromso had played on as well when they had one possession back.
Yeah, there was no reason for Kilmarnock to give the ball back. Again, it's just Matty Kennedy wanting to cut in on that right-hand side. He just kind of, his touch takes it away from him a little. He's overstretching when he hits it. But again, just Vassell, it's just inches away from him for sliding in and putting it in the back of the net.
It's Jensen who's been hurt in the initial challenge with Vassell. There's absolutely no foul, and if anything, there's a foul there by Barry, who wasn't penalised, as the referee, I think, probably tried to play advantage. Vassell almost getting through.
He does so well. The hold-up play initially from Vassell's so good. I don't think he's aware that Danny Armstrong's actually sprinting onto the ball just behind him and to go clean through, and he almost just touches it to try and keep it under control, which, if he didn't, Danny Armstrong's in full flight advancing. But a good spell from Kilmarnock. They've weathered a bit of the Tromso storm, 5-10 minutes where they had a lot of possession in their half, and they've come right back into it.
Yeah, a minute of added on time shown by the fourth official as Goodall picks himself back up and looks like he'll be fine to continue. Kilmarnock leading by a goal to nil. The goal coming 11 minutes in. Joe Wright with the header deflected past the goalkeeper Jakob Hausgaard, and that's how it stands as we approach the interval. Here's Skjervik though, looking perhaps to mount one final attack in this first period. Plays it into the centre of the park, and now out to Barry, right hand side. He'll come back infield to Hjertodal on the halfway line. Kilmarnock closing off as many of the options as they can, but it is played through. Now it's Paintsill, left hand side of the penalty area, gets it back into the box. It's not a good ball though, and it allows Finlay to get back and clear as Kilmarnock look to try and take that one goal advantage in at the break.
It's so important to just keep concentration here. He just gets in behind the Kilmarnock defender, but again, really good defending from, I think it's Stuart Finlay that comes across and just clears it.
Joe Wright just gets caught ball watching, ball played in behind him. The only disappointing thing that Stuart Finlay can't get enough on it to keep it from going behind for a corner.
So final chance, you would think, of the first period here for Tromso to get back in level terms. In comes the corner, just wide from the header. It comes into the back post. It's Jakob Lasse Nordas who rose highest, but he couldn't get his header on target, and it means Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1.
That's a big chance for Tromso there, and Nordas, you expect him to hit target. He's only 5 yards out, he gets a good leap, Probably Vassell just does enough underneath him to put him off, but I'm expecting the striker to hit the target from there, and if you hit the target, it's more than likely going to go in. So big let off for Kelly. I
think that'll be a message from Derek McInnes at half time. Just they can't keep giving up set piece opportunities, because Tromso are good at it, they're a danger, and they've had a few let offs from
half time in Tromso, and it's great news for Kilmarnock and their fans as Joe Wright's goal has them ahead at the interval, and 3-2 ahead on aggregate. It was the first real opportunity of the game as Armstrong's corner was swung in from the left hand side. Wright rose to head it towards the goal. It comes off Vetla Skjervik on its way past the goalkeeper, who couldn't keep it out, and Kilmarnock had the opener early on. There was a couple of opportunities for Tromso to equalise. Nordas was immediately denied by McCrory before Kennedy had a solo effort deflected wide. Then Antonsen at the other end put an effort wide. Vassell put an opportunity just off target from close range before, in injury time, Lasse Nordas probably should have brought his side level, heading wide from just a few yards out. But it does remain in Kilmarnock's hands then at half-time. They lead in Tromso by 1-0.
Kilmarnock in the UEFA Conference League qualifiers. Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute. Previously on Breaking the News with Des Clark at the Edinburgh Festivals.
What is your most memorable interaction that you've had with an audience?
I've really enjoyed being here and doing my show. I talk a little bit about netball. I love the game of netball, and I've been asking people in the crowd who plays netball. I asked a woman, and she said her name, and I said, "What's your position?" And she said, "I'm an admin consultant for a construction company."
Scotland's topical panel show with Des Clark. Breaking the News. Listen now on BBC Sounds.
And catch the next programme tomorrow from 1:30 on BBC Radio Scotland.
So, a tale of contrasting fortunes for our Scottish sides in UEFA Conference action this evening, and it's been good from Kilmarnock, obviously, this evening against Tromso, 1-0 up at half-time, and plenty to be hopeful about from their point of view. As for St Mirren, well, let me bring you up to speed with them if you don't know their away at Brandbergen this evening. It was, of course, 1-1 from the first leg in Paisley, and Brandbergen, a very, very good outfit, as we saw in Paisley in that match, and they were unfortunate, to be honest, not to take a lead into their home leg against St Mirren, but they wasted no time this evening. 5th minute goal from Joachim Soltvedt, putting them 1-0 up against St Mirren. The worst possible start for the Paisley side, but it's remained that way for the remainder of this first half, and St Mirren have had a few glimpses of goal, but Brandbergen clearly a very good side. It was a very well taken goal from Joachim Soltvedt as well, rolling it in at the near post past Ellery Balcom. Really well taken finish, but St Mirren still with plenty of hope in terms of the second half. Very wet night in Bergen. They've had a few sights of goals. Sean Rooney blazing over. Toyosi Olasanya has been making a menace of himself to an extent. So they're very much in this, the Paisley side. Let's get a bit more detail on that from our match commentator this evening. I should mention there is online commentary at the BBC Sport website featuring Stephen Thompson and, as I mentioned, our match commentator Adam Binney. Adam, what have you made of the first half?
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, as you said, yes, St Mirren trailing by 1-0 at half-time in this one. Brandbergen leading 2-1 on aggregate, and yeah, it was the worst possible start for St Mirren. Just 5 minutes into the game, this was certainly not in the plan that the hosts were to take the lead. It was fantastic work from Felix Meira on this left-hand side. Tomo picked him out as his main man from the first leg. He was, of course, the scorer in that match. He was twisting and turning on that left-hand side, turned Alex Gogic inside out. Gogic then hit the deck, perhaps due to a bit of a slip, and it was very wet out there in Bergen today. And Meira did ever so well just to pick out his teammate. That was full back Joachim Soltvedt on the kind of edge of the area as he stroked the ball into the near post. Ellery Balcom perhaps expecting the ball to go back across the goal, and he was wrong-footed. But after that, St Mirren did come back into it. There was an opportunity through Sean Rooney with Jaden Brown, launched the ball back into the Brand penalty area. Sean Rooney with a volley at the back post. We've seen him score some famous goals at the back post from crosses over the years, with St Johnstone in 2 cup finals definitely come to mind there, but it wasn't to be on this time. It would have been a special goal if he was to score. Richard Taylor then had a header from a deep free kick. It was just slightly behind him, couldn't really, well, he did direct it on target, but couldn't really make a menace of the opportunity there. Toyose Alasanya's looked bright. They're trying to use his pace to get in behind, but really Brann well in control of this one. They haven't created too many clear goal scoring opportunities. Just seconds before half time there, a quick throw in, then found Nicolas Castro on the left hand side. He was eventually given offside, but upon a replay that Tom and I were able to see, it looked like that might not have been the case. He knocked the ball back into the centre of the area, but it looked destined to fall for Bård Fina, the Norwegian international striker, but Ellery Balcom did ever so well just to claw it away from Fina's feet and keep the score at Brann 1, St Mirren 0. Stephen Thompson watched that first half alongside me. Stephen, what do you think the manager, Stephen Robinson, will be saying to his players right now?
I think it's important that they keep it at 1-0 for as long as they can in the game, and as I said during commentary, they can kind of twist a bit 70, 80 minutes and bring on players to try and go and get the equaliser that would take it into extra time, or even a winner. What they can't do is afford to concede a second goal. I think there's been a slight improvement in terms of the performance from the first leg from St Mirren. They've managed to create 1 or 2 half chances. You mentioned the Rooney one. It was a difficult chance, but he's got to hit that into the ground on a night like tonight. He goes for the kind of spectacular volley, looking for the kind of top down, and it went high over the bar. A couple of other half sniffs in the game. There was one cross put in from Sean Rooney, fantastic ball right into a brilliant area. Alasanya's in the box. He's got to burst his neck to get past that front post, and then he's got a tap in, and he doesn't. And you know, from my point of view as an ex-striker watching that, you know it's coming into that area. You've got to be there. So I was disappointed with that. Yeah, Brann are good in the ball. They're very good to watch. They are very composed, very comfortable, and they will create more opportunities in this second half. So for St Mirren, it's all about staying in the game.
Would you expect to see any changes at half time?
I don't think at half time, no. I don't think there'll be many at half time. I would imagine as the game goes on, James Scott, you would probably see maybe Mandron coming on to the pitch as well. As the game goes on and St Mirren start trying, you know, if it's still 1-0, St Mirren try to get back into the game. But at this minute in time, 1-0's a scoreline you can come back from, and there are positives to take for Stephen Robinson in that first half, so he'll not be too disappointed in that changing room.
Yeah, you can hear more from Stephen Thompson and myself over on the BBC Sport website if you want to listen to the live commentary of Brann versus St Mirren, where the Norwegians lead 2-1 on aggregate, and at half time it's Brann 1, St Mirren 0.
Adam, Tomo, thank you very much for the moment. Yeah, hopeful signs from St Mirren, although they trail in Bergen. It does look like they are getting forward a little more than they did in the first leg. Let's hope that they can get a breakthrough in the second half, as the guys say. Commentary of that available at the BBC Sport website. Here on Sports Sound, we've been enjoying Kilmarnock's first half against Tromso. I must admit, it's an idyllic setting. We're getting the pictures here into the studio. Absolute beautiful Nordic scene in the far north of Norway. Beautiful night there. Very, very wet in Bergen this evening. But anyway, none of that really matters as far as Kilmarnock are concerned. All they care about is that they've had a very good first half. They have the goal. Joe Wright's header to make it 1-0. Might have been a Vettel Skjervik own goal, but wasn't a clear and obvious mistake, I don't think. So they'll just give it to Joe Wright. Certainly been awarded to Joe Wright, and that was in the 11th minute. And it's been a very sort of open first half as well. I mean, Tromso have had their chances, but Cammy Bell and Stephen McGinn with us, they've had a chance to catch their collective breaths. And Cammy, it's been a good first half from Kilmarnock. I mean, 1-0 up away from home against Tromso. They have control of the time.
Yeah, listen, it's been really positive. Derek McInnes will be delighted with the start, the way they've imposed themselves on the game. Key players, Matty Kennedy, for me in that first half was a real threat down that left-hand side. He looks like back to his old self, what he was last season, wanting to take players on, very confident, real quality as well that's going into the box. And yeah, we've got to give Joe Wright that goal. For me, it was all about the timing of his run. He lost his defender, and whether it takes a deflection and goes in the back of net, it's all about the timing of that run, and such an important goal because it gives Kilmarnock something to cling on to, but also to build on as well.
It really does. And Stephen McGinn, I don't know how you feel exactly about it, but this does feel a lot more like the Kilmarnock of last season we're seeing all of a sudden?
Yeah, I think they'll be a lot more pleased with the performance. What I would say, what I think the message from in the dressing room would be is they've had enough warnings when they've been camped round the box, giving away free kicks, corners. You have to go out and get that second goal. I think a second goal will be enough to win this tie. I don't think there's a lot between the teams. If anything, I didn't see the first leg. I think Kilmarnock looked slightly better, slightly dangerous. They look as if they had more punch. I think if they show a bit more belief and they can go out and get that second goal, just a little bit more clinical in the last bit. Even the corner, they worked the corner brilliantly, back heel into Danny Armstrong's path. Just a bit more conviction, and as I said, I think the way to go through this tie is to go out and get that second goal.
Is that how you feel, Cammy, as well? Because just looking at the pictures, Tromso are quite good when they're building through midfield and up front, but it does feel like their defence, clearly the defence can be got at.
Yeah, they're a threat, they're dangerous, and Kilmarnock need to be aware of that, but there's nothing to fear there. I think Kilmarnock have learnt a lot from the first leg, watching this second leg, that they've got their press much better. I really do think Tromso caught them a little bit by surprise last week, and that there's no shame in that, because there's not a lot of information out there. Derek McInnes had a short period of time to prepare his players for that game, and for me, tactically, he's got spot on today. He's got the press right. The press as a team, they're not allowing Tromso getting their passing. The way they passed last week, they took real control of the game for long spells, whereas Kilmarnock have not allowed that. They've broke play up, they've won the ball back, they've been good in possession as well, and they're a threat going forward. So I agree with Stephen. I think if they get the second goal, I believe they will go through this tie, but the players will be fully in belief that they can go and win this game, because there's nothing there to fear.
Sometimes when you're playing at home, there's an edginess, there's a nervousness that comes from the crowd in terms of Tromso being on the ball. And you imagine the goalkeeper advancing, keep touching, there'll be screams from the home fans, get to him. There's a calmness about Kilmarnock tonight. They all know their jobs, they're sticking to them manfully. I think Bainbridge has been really impressive in terms of he's almost went about his role like a veteran. So many different tasks and doing them so manfully. But yeah, I think it is much more reminiscent of what Kilmarnock is. I was critical at the start of the game in terms of Kennedy and Armstrong, their season so far, but especially Matty Kennedy. I think he's been much more like himself.
This is an interesting time in terms of Scottish football. A lot of chat about the coefficient at the moment. A lot of concern about the coefficient, frankly. If you want to get into detail in terms of Scotland's coefficient, a good place to go would be the Scottish Football Podcast, available at BBC Sounds. In fact, today's edition, a really interesting listen. Gavin Noon, who's basically the Scottish coefficient expert on X, was on the Scottish Football Podcast today with Phil Goodlad, basically outlining just how crucial a period this is for Scottish teams in terms of Scotland, in terms of the coefficient, and how it's so important that our sides do well in European competition this year to try and preserve everything that we have. Basically, if we finish outside the top 15 in terms of the rankings, in terms of the coefficient in Europe, then there are lots of bad implications for Scottish football in the next couple of seasons. That's when it kind of kicks in. We'd have 4 clubs instead of 5 accessing European competition. The champions would not be guaranteed Champions League football as they are at this moment in time. Celtic obviously going into the Champions League, league stage as it is now. It's no longer a group stage, it's just a massive league. But if we dropped out of that coefficient situation below 15th place, the Scottish champions would have to play 3 qualifying rounds to get into that Champions League stage, and the runners-up in Scotland would enter the Conference League and have to face 3 qualifying rounds just to get into that. So basically nobody would be guaranteed any league stage football as it is at the moment. This year, of course, Celtic guaranteed that, Rangers guaranteed that in the Europa League as well, and Hearts with a chance for Europa League or Conference League. And if St Mirren or Kilmarnock do get into that league phase this season, it would be a first. Never have 4 clubs from Scotland been in the league phase, so fingers crossed that could happen, and it would be good for the coefficient. It'd be just good for Scottish football morale in general. Should probably mention as well that if Kilmarnock do go through, they face either Banik Ostrava or FC Copenhagen. Now it's half time in the second leg of that tie. Copenhagen were 1-0 winners in the first leg in Denmark. excuse me. In the second leg at half-time, Banik Ostrava are leading 1-0, so it's 1-1 on aggregate. So all to play for in terms of that. Obviously, a very stiff test for Kilmarnock if they manage to get through. As for St Mirren, they already know their opponents will be Astana of Kazakhstan if they can make it through. But clearly, a lot of football to be played between now and then. Stephen McGinn, in terms of Europa Conference League stage football for either Kilmarnock or St Mirren, I should basically outline it's actually a 36-team league, and you play 3 matches at home, 3 matches away, and well, if you manage to do well in that, you can build up points, build up lots of money as well. It'd be hugely lucrative for either St Mirren or Kilmarnock. Transformative, in fact, wouldn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable. Hearing that, I listened to the podcast this morning. Scary, the drop off in terms of even the runners up, just to get into the Conference League. So, like every other Scottish football fan, you get to this time of the year and you hope that it's not a disaster. Kilmarnock giving us a lot of hope here with their first half performance, and you never know yet. That next stage, obviously Copenhagen, you would expect to come through that over the 2 legs, but you would expect to have to beat good teams to get in there. But if you can get in there, the difference it can make, not just for the next couple of years, long term as a club, to the plan and everything that comes with the financial rewards.
Yep, lots of football to be played before we can get into all the implications, and it's about to kick off in the second half. So let me hand you back to our commentary team this evening: Cammy Bell, Stephen McGinn and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Johners. Substitution at half time. It's a like for like swap at left wing back for Tromso, as Runar Norheim, 19-year-old, comes on to replace Yao Paintsil. And the only change at half time, none by Kilmarnock. So the teenager coming on at left wing back to replace Paintsil. He started the first leg but came off at half time as Bobby Wales gets us back underway. Oh, the referee has interjected once more, and there's clearly something not to satisfaction again. There was a bit of debate on our work group chat as to whether that should have been a free kick in the first half. Actually, one of the guys pointing out that if the keeper handles it and then subsequently picks it up, then it should be a foul. The law is very long, but suffice to say that if he has deliberately released it, handled it, and then released it into play, and then picks it up, then it should be a foul. I think that's a bit of a grey area as to what actually happened with Robbie McCrory, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, certainly in Scottish football that wouldn't be given as a free kick. I think he's just patted it down to control the ball. I don't think he's totally in control of the ball when it comes through and then he picks up. So I think it was a very bizarre decision from me that the referee gave.
Anyway, we are underway again as the ball is back with Haugaard in the Tromso goal. So Kilmarnock still with the same lineup as with which they started the game. It's McCrory in goal, a back four of the goal scorer Wright, Mayo, Finlay and Bainbridge. In the midfield, Armstrong, Lyons, Donnelly and Kennedy, with Vassell and Wales up front. It's Kelly throw-in as in the first half. We'll keep you up to date. We'll cross to Brian McLaughlin if there's any major incidents in the Branbergen against St Mirren game, but it's kicked off as well for the second half, and it's still 1-0 Branbergen in that one. 2-1 on aggregate, 3-2 to Kilmarnock on aggregate, as we look to boost the coefficient the guys were talking about for this one, as Bainbridge has it down the left hand side. It goes looking for Kennedy. Kennedy chests it down and then moves away from Cornish. Cornish can't stick with him. Kennedy tries to get the pass off there for Wales. It breaks back kindly for Kennedy off the back of Cornish. Now it's Donnelly, left hand side for Kilmarnock. Back he goes to Stuart Finlay. At what stage, Stephen, Derek McInnes is a very pragmatic manager. At what stage do they start trying to manage this game, or do they really still need to go for a second goal at this point?
Right from the kick-off second half, you can see any throw-ins, breaks in play, they'll take their time off it, but they can't, in play, they can't get into that habit where they just drop deep. But when it goes out of play, they've earned the right to take as long as they want over throw-ins, free kicks. So but that would have been one of the messages at half time.
Here's Kennedy, left hand side, plays it forward to Vassell. Vassell goes down under the challenge of Barry, nothing given against him though, and Tromso emerged with possession, picked up by their captain Ruben Jensen in the middle of the park. He plays it short to Goodall, who bursts forward over the halfway line. He was caught late there by Donnelly. Play allowed to continue with Tromso still in possession through Nordas. Out to the left hand side it goes, breaks back to Nordas. He gets the snapshot off, it's well wide, and I wonder if there'll be a card coming Donnelly's way for the challenge earlier on in the move.
It was very, very late from Donnelly. I would be surprised if that's not a yellow card. The referee allowed the play to go, and they builded it through the left-hand side, manages to get a shot away, but thankfully Nordas pulls his shot wide of the Kilmarnock goal.
I think the frustration stems a bit from Barry keeps piling through Vassell, and he's almost not giving Vassell the foul because he's inviting physical, but it's still a foul, and I think that's why the Kilmarnock players get a bit frustrated there.
Donnelly was shown a yellow card, I think probably rightly so, for that late challenge, so he's in the book. But importantly, Kilmarnock still in front in the early stages of this second period. Incidentally, Jonathan mentioned the Banneker Strava Copenhagen score, 1-0 at the more or less the same point in the game as we are in this one, so it's one each on aggregate. But also Hearts fans will be interested to know that at this stage it looks like their opponents in the Europa League playoff round will be Victoria Pilsen of the Czech Republic. They're still 0-0 on the night against Krubas of the Ukraine, as Bobby Wales gets a half a chance there at the near post but can't direct it on target. So that's 2-1 on aggregate to the Czechs at the moment. They're about 52 minutes into the game as well, so try and keep you up to date with all eventualities that might affect Scottish teams. But the main focus for us is of course this game in Tromso, where Kilmarnock continues to lead by a goal to nil at the start of the second period, 50 minutes almost played, and it's 3-2 on aggregate. Tromso have it at the back. It's Goodall able to bring it forward again, as he clearly likes to do. Plays it to his left hand side to Skjervik, who got that perhaps vital touch on Joe Wright's header to take it past his own goalkeeper. Out now to the substitute Runar Norheim, left hand side, and scooped into the penalty area, but Mayo gets his head to it, and then Donnelly completes the clearance from the edge of the penalty. Now Vassell's tussling away there with Goodall. He's done brilliantly again, Vassell, but across comes Barry to cover his central defensive partner. Otherwise Vassell might have been there. I mean, it's some role that he plays up there. I mean, I know he's got Wales up alongside him, but the battling that he does to try and get his team up the park. Yeah, and I think he's too honest again. I think at times Tromso are buying fouls. There's so much contact on him. He's well within his rights to go down, earn himself and Kilmarnock a foul, but he's trying to get up the park and not rewarded for it. Cornish gets to the byline. It's blocked behind for a corner by Kennedy. Tromso will have the corner right hand side as Barry played Cornish down that right flank.
Yeah, it was a good bit of play from Tromso just down that right flank, as you said, but again tirelessly Matty Kennedy working back the pitch to stop that cross coming in, doing his bit for the team.
Tromso then with the opportunity from the corner kick to be taken by Antonsen, right hand side, left footed. Referee just warning players to be no shirt pulling and so on in the area, and you can be sure if there is, he will spot it as Antonsen stands over this corner kick. Then right hand side in swinger with the left foot, goes all the way through. Vassell completely missed it at the near post, and well, didn't completely miss it because the referee's indicated it's going to be another corner, so he must just have got the slightest of nicks on it.
It's difficult to see if he actually makes any contact there, but again a let off for Kilmarnock because it was a really dangerous ball into the box and with nobody making contact.
Yeah, Jens Hjertedal from the other side then. Left hand side, right footed to the back post. Skjervik the target, but he's well marshalled there by Lewis Mayo, and it comes off Skjervik and goes tamely behind for a Kilmarnock goal kick. 52 minutes in, it's Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1, 3-2 on aggregate.
Yeah, I think Derek McInnes and his coaching staff will be delighted. Other than getting the second goal, this 5, 6, 7 minutes since the break. They'd be delighted with how it's going. The one thing is set pieces again. They are looking vulnerable. I don't know whether sometimes you can have too many bodies in. There's so many players in the Kilmarnock team that want to go and head that first ball. They almost seem to be blocked themselves at times, trying to head the ball away.
Was that a warning or an actual booking for Robbie McCrory there?
I think he did get the book out because it looks as if he put it away. So yeah, again a little bit harsh for me. I don't think Robbie was taking too long. I think there's got to be a warning there first before you actually get the yellow card out.
Yeah, well, you can well imagine that Robbie McCrory will want to be taking his time over goal kicks, but he's got little room for error now if he's been shown the yellow card. It hasn't been confirmed on our screens here as yet. Now it is. The Kilmarnock goalkeeper joins Liam Donnelly in the referee's notebook. Vassell again doing brilliantly, and then the referee's pulled it back, and he's penalised Kyle Vassell for that. He's not doing Kilmarnock any favours, I have to say, this referee.
I can't believe I'm watching there. I can't believe how that can possibly be a foul to Tromso.
He does brilliant. He's got the defender right on his back, who's all over him, and he turns him, and you think the referee's pulled it back for a free kick for Vassell, and he gives Tromso the free kick. Baffling,
to say the least. Victoria Pilsen have gone 1-0 up actually in the second leg of their Europa League third round qualifier against Krubas. So they're 3-1 up in aggregate now, and it looks very much like the Czech Republic will be Hearts' destination in the Europa League next Thursday. I think they're away first, Hearts actually, so there'll be a trip to the Czech Republic next week by the looks of it, and hopefully they can secure their place in the Europa League. And remember, they're guaranteed at least Conference League stage football, but Europa League would be so much the better, albeit more difficult. Tromso have it, trailing by a goal to 0, 54.5 minutes played out in Norway as the goalkeeper makes his way up to the halfway line to take the loose ball, plays it forward now to Antonsen, tracked there by Bobby Wales, played forward down the left hand side. Well won by Mayo. It's picked up by Norheim on the left-hand side for Tromso. Back the way it goes. As Tromso try and keep possession. Skjervik forced to race to keep that in. Manages to direct it back to his goalkeeper, who's midway inside his own half, and then it's played to Tobias Goodall. Skjervik once more. Halfway line, bit of room here for Antonsen midway inside the Kilmarnock half. Donnelly trying to stick with him. Out to the right hand side now for Romzas, and then the foul made by Cornic on Kennedy, and Kilmarnock get a bit of a breather. Good interception initially by Kennedy, and then he wins the free kick for Cornic's challenge, and Kelly will have the free kick on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, it's been brilliant down that left hand side, obviously going forward, a real threat for Kelly, but all the work he's done back the pitch again, really good position, helps his teammate out, keeps really narrow, doesn't allow the ball to go past him, steals it and gets a good free kick just to take the pressure off Kelly.
Robbie McCrory then to take this free kick just outside his penalty area. Looks for Vassell, who wins the flick on. Wales unable to bring it under control. Hasn't really been able to make an impact, Bobby Wales, in this game so far. Fairly daunting task for the young man alongside Kyle Vassell, but Kilmarnock have the advantage. Good bit of skill there from Mamadou Barry. Then he's challenged by Mayo. Down he goes, but Tromso continue in possession, looking for an equaliser in the game and in the tie overall, as Norheim picks up left hand side just outside the penalty area, swivels and then comes back the way and then plays it back. Kilmarnock able to clear their lines. Derek McInnes parading down that touchline, looks an anxious figure, but he'll be delighted by the way his side have performed over the course of the evening so far, as the goalkeeper picks up once more in a very advanced area, just short of the halfway line. Haugar has it. Kilmarnock quite content to let him have it here, not going to close him down.
That's a bit, I think, from the first leg. You imagine Rugby Park just now, when he's able to do that, it'd be howling for him to get pressure on.
That's exactly what they were doing, and you know, Kyle Vassell was doing what he was doing there. He was just saying, just leave him, let him have it, because he's not going anywhere. As soon as we go and press him, then he'll pop it around us. So you know, they know what they're doing. The players, you've got to give them some credit, but the Kilmarnock fans at times last week, Cammy, were howling at them.
Yeah, I think the frustration last week as well was Tromso had a long spell of control in the game. I don't think they've had that this week. I think there's Kilmarnock have broke play up. They've not allowed them to play 15-20 passes and progress up the pitch. They've been much more disciplined, Killy, and their press, as I spoke about at half-time, that has been a lot better from the team.
58 minutes played in Tromso. Is there an opportunity here for Todal from the edge of the penalty area? A good take from Robbie McCrory, getting down to his right-hand side. That was destined for the bottom corner from 20 yards, but McCrory threw himself to his right and keeps it at Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1.
Yeah, it's a good save from Robbie. It's a save I would expect him to make. I don't think Dal gets enough on the ball to beat him from that range, but I was a little bit worried. He was just advancing with nobody putting pressure on him. I would like to see a Kilmarnock midfielder step out. Donnelly eventually steps out to put the pressure on, but he got a little bit too close to the 18-yard line for me to get his strike away.
They're just having another little spell where they're defending really well. They're very robust, but they're turning the ball over too much. They have to get control of the game. You wonder if in the next 5-10 minutes he might be looking for, maybe Bobby Wales looks a bit tired, get a bit of experience on the legs of Innes Cameron, or maybe an extra body in midfield.
Yeah, 59 played in Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1. Joe Wright's early goal, still the difference between the sides in the tie. Here comes Tromso looking for that equaliser. It's Antonsen on the angle of the box on the left-hand side. Bad Lions trying to keep him out. Norheim's pass forward then is cut out, and Kilmarnock able to get up towards Vassell. Vassell just holding it up, backing into his man, plays it back to Lyons. Lyons then clips it, looking to clip it over Barry for Wales, but just didn't have the elevation on it, and Barry's able to bring it under control and play it out to the right-hand side.
He's apologising now, Brad Lyons, but it needs to be better. They've had long spells without the ball the last couple of minutes. You have to do better. That's a hopeful ball to Wales. Norheim
into the penalty area, away by Finlay. Good clearance. Vassell picks up this one, but 10 yards inside his own half. He's well challenged though by Skjervik, who knocks it out of play over on the far side, the Kilmarnock right. And with the hour mark coming round, still Kilmarnock with the advantage out in Bergen. It's still Brann 1, St Mirren 0, 2-1 on aggregate, but Stephen Robinson and his side will feel that with half an hour to go they can just begin to try and give that one a go, try and get back on level terms and perhaps take it to extra time. Here, extra time is the worst we would want, because Kilmarnock in a really good position. Bobby Wales, the latest Kilmarnock player to be penalised by the Romanian referee.
This referee's get the big centre-half Barry out of trouble numerous times. He keeps letting him off the hook with terrible defending and giving him fouls.
Tromso have it at the back then, midway inside their own half. And up comes the keeper once more. It's clear that Kilmarnock have decided they are just going to let him have it in that position. He's played it forward now to Goodall. Goodall now slides it forward to the centre forward Nordas. Pass into the box isn't good enough for Norheim, but he's a second bite at it again. It's too easy from Kilmarnock, giving it back to Tromso. They might well be made to pay for it as it's teased in towards the back post. Too much on that though, and Cornets will go and chase it and keep it in. But Stephen's been saying they need to be a bit better in possession, Kilmarnock, or else they're going to invite further pressure, and ultimately you would expect Tromso to take a chance.
Another occasion there, it's just Donnelly, they win the ball back, he's in his own 18-yard box, but there wasn't a great deal of pressure on him. He just gives Tromso the ball back. They can't keep doing that because Tromso will hurt them. They're a good side when they go forward. They've got key players that can hurt Kilmarnock, so they need to retain possession.
They have it just inside their own half, and it's Haugar picking up once more just outside the centre circle. Again, Kilmarnock content to let him have it. He rolls it forward though for his captain Ruben Jensen. Jensen for Antonsen. Quickly closed down there by Mayo, who'd come out from the back. Now it's with Mamadou Barry. Barry back to his goalkeeper. When I say back, I mean just along the halfway line, more or less. As Tromso continue to dominate the ball in this second period. Still haven't been able to find a leveller though, as Hjertodal leaves it to Skjervik. Out to Norheim, left-hand side. A couple of Kilmarnock players up against him, so he goes back to Skjervik, about 30 yards from goal, curls it in towards the back post. Good defending again from Matty Kennedy. He's done some shift backwards and forwards all night. Matty Kennedy knocks that one behind for a corner. Remains Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1.
Yeah, again, great positional play defensively from Matty Kennedy, but this tie's just turning into a little bit more like the first tie, where Kilmarnock lost control of the game and Tromso controlled the ball for long periods, which allowed them to score 2 goals. So they need to get that ball back and they need to keep it for a period.
Antonsen then lining up the corner kick from the right-hand side. The left-footed midfielder in swinger towards the back post. It's nodded down, but an easy take from McCrory as Godal went up to win that at the back post. Just lost his marker there, but comfortable take for the goalkeeper. 1-0 it remains then. 63.5 minutes played. Similar scoreline out in Bran, with 64 minutes gone there as well, as Vassell is beaten to that one by Skjervik. And there's going to be another change for Tromso here as they look to find this equalising goal that perhaps you could argue that the pressure has deserved, albeit McCrory's only really been forced into one save in this second period, that a few minutes ago from Hjertodal. Throw into Kilmarnock then. 26 minutes left of the 90. Ollie Bainbridge on the left-hand side gets it back from Kennedy, then just plays it forward looking for Vassell. Vassell beaten in the air, and then Barry knocks it forward. It's a poor attempted clearance by Mayo. Finlay doesn't do all that much better, and it comes to Hjertodal midway inside the Kilmarnock half. Now it's Jensen looking to play out to the left-hand side to Norheim. Norheim touches it back in field and then picks up possession once more on that left flank for Tromso. Midway inside Kilmarnock territory. He's up against Danny Armstrong. Takes him on the outside onto the left foot. Knocked away by Joe Wright at the near post, and out for a throw-in to Tromso. 65 minutes on the clock. Still Killie lead by a goal to 0, but they are coming under increasing pressure in this second period. And there's an opportunity here, perhaps Donnelly just dwelling on it in the edge of the box. Fortunately for him, it breaks kindly for Vassell, who holds it up, spins 360 and then knocks it out to this left-hand side. Brilliant play again from the Kilmarnock captain for Kennedy. Kennedy kills it with the first touch. Can't keep a hold of the ball though, even he perhaps getting a little bit tired with all the running he's done up and down that left flank. Just coughs up possession, and Tromso have it once more on their right-hand side. Barry back in field into the centre circle. Out to the left-hand side now with Norheim. Still Tromso wait to make the substitution as Antonsen picks up midway inside Kilmarnock's half. It could be a long 25 minutes if it's all going to be played in this defensive third for Kilmarnock, as Skjervik comes forwards. Every Kilmarnock player behind the ball right now. Played out to the left-hand side to Norheim once more, then back to Skjervik. Kilmarnock camped in and around their penalty area. Even Vassell is only about 25 yards from his own goal, as Antonsen has it out to Norheim, left-hand side, up against Armstrong. This time he comes in on his right-hand side, headed away by Donnelly. Barry will try and retrieve it. It's not even as if Kilmarnock are really able to mount any counter-attacks under this amount of pressure. They just haven't been able to get up the park at all.
That is the problem. They're giving Tromso no worries about the counter-attack. Even that one, Vassell does amazing, finds it to Kennedy. Kennedy turns it over, and they're allowed just to almost get that foothold. The goalkeeper's almost playing at halfway line, which okay, they'd have planned for, but they have to show Tromso that they can still counter-attack.
Killie are thinking about a change as well, as Stephen suggested they probably would be. Here's Barry though in the angle of the box, right-hand side. Back to Jensen. Jensen plays it square to Skjervik, about 30 yards from goal. Again, Kilmarnock staying disciplined in that shape, but they just cannot get out. It's Jensen back now with Goodall. Even the centre-backs are very much joining in the attack here. Jensen once more, 30 yards from goal, out to the right-hand side to Mamadou Barry. Barry just lifts it into the area, away by Finlay. Vassell will try and hold on to it. Well, this time he's won his side a free kick. The referee giving that one in the favour of Kilmarnock, and much needed respite for the visitors, you would have to say, but they do lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the softer ones again, but Vassell uses all his experience, just feels a nudge in the back and goes over and buys Kilmarnock the free kick. But they need to get back on the ball. That switch from Vassell, who's been brilliant tonight, his hold-up play again, top class, brings Kilmarnock up the pitch, and he switched out to Matty Kennedy. As Stephen says, they've got to have that threat going forward. I would have just liked to see Matty Kennedy open his legs up and try and take on the Tromso defender, because it'll put a bit of doubt in the Tromso mind of going forward and having so much possession that there still is that counter-attack from Kilmarnock.
Yeah, Kilmarnock are going to make a triple change here. It's Watson, Murray and Dees who are coming on. That in the wake of a double change there from Tromso. I'll try and give you the details of that in a moment. Bainbridge is going to be replaced by Dees, certainly. And he's done himself no harm whatsoever in terms of a future place in the side. But Dees will come on in that left-sided area. Armstrong and Wales are the other two players to make way for Watson and Murray. I've thought actually, when I've seen Fraser Murray this season so far, I've thought he's done okay in the games I've seen him in.
Yeah, he's a real threat, especially coming off the bench. I think he's really good. He's got that explosiveness going forward. He's very direct, a bit like Danny Armstrong and Matty Kennedy. Don't really think it happened for Danny tonight. Again, he's just not found the levels that he played at last season. But it's a good substitution to bring on. Fraser will definitely bring a threat in behind for Killie.
So as I say, Tromso made a double change. Vegard Elien certainly came on for Kentara Antonsen. That's a pretty attacking change. I think Elien's a forward player. I think Skjervik went off as well. Quite who came on in his place, I'm not entirely sure. I will try and establish that in the next few minutes. But double change for Tromso and triple change for Killie, as both sides looking to try and either to keep an advantage that they hold in Kilmarnock's case, or to get back into the game. It was Jensen, the other Jensen, Anders Jensen, who came on at the back for Skjervik. That's another kind of like-for-like change at the back for the home side. Here they come forward, looking for that equaliser. Donnelly, and then Wright knocking the ball away. Picked up again though by Jensen, the midfielder Jensen, Robin Jensen. That's a good first touch there from Elien, almost opening up for a shot there, but it's hacked away over the halfway line before he could do so. But already he looks like it could be a threat to that Kilmarnock backline. Still 1-0 Kilmarnock with 20 minutes to go in the 90. 3-2 they lead on aggregate. 1-0 still Brandbergen against St Mirren. 2-1 on aggregate, that one to the Norwegians. But it's the Scottish side who leads in Tromso. But they are coming under a significant amount of pressure, albeit Robbie McCrory hasn't been overly worked in the game. In terms of the changes for Kilmarnock, are they all, I mean, is there anything different you've noticed in terms of the people who've come on?
Davy Watson's gone central, Brad Lyons has gone into the right midfield slot that Danny Armstrong was, and Fraser Murray's just went up alongside, or just in behind Kyle Vassell, taking over from Bobby Wales.
There's Norheim down the left-hand side, gets the ball into the 6-yard box, but it's well defended by Kilmarnock, and the ball's knocked away, and now Donnelly can try and bring it forward out to the left-hand side for Matty Kennedy.
What a difference that is from Brad Lyons. The last 3 or 4 that came to him, he's just kicked him away. He drives with the ball, finds Matty Kennedy, and all of a sudden Kilmarnock are able to play a couple of passes and take the pressure off.
Here's Donnelly from the edge of his own penalty area up towards the halfway line. Well won by Lyons, and Vassell just feeds it down the right, looking for Murray to make the run. Goodall, though, with good composure, just turns away from the substitute and plays the pass, and now it's back with Jakob Haugaard in the Tromso goal. Not for long, but he's got the ball moving forward. Barry now right hand side for Cornick, and back with Ruben Jensen in the middle of the park for Tromso. 18 minutes left for Kilmarnock to hold on to their advantage and move into the Conference League playoff round against either Banik Ostrava or Copenhagen 1-0. The Czech side led last heard and 1-1 on aggregate in that case, and that game also entering the final stages. As Haugaard plays it forward to Hjertodal, then gets it back once more and plays it out to the left-hand side. Back with Haugaard once more as Kilmarnock again just leave him in possession, the goalkeeper. Now it's Goodall, plays it square once more to Haugaard, the goalkeeper, about 10 yards from the halfway line. Tromso content just to keep possession back in their own penalty area, and there's been a goal in Bergen. Brian McLaughlin.
It's a goal for St Mirren, an equaliser with 16 minutes left in the clock. It was a corner in from the right-hand side and upset the substitute. Jakaviti with a header, bulleted a header into the bottom left-hand corner of the Brann goal. We're all scared here in Bergen. It's Brann 1, St Mirren 1.
Chance here for Tromso, and there is an equaliser. But the flag is up to deny Leo Cornick, just when he thought he'd drawn them level. It will be looked at, but we'll have a look at the replay here, and it does look offside. Half a yard perhaps. Leo Cornick has gone too early as he slid the ball under Robbie McCrory, but the goal will be chopped off.
Yeah, I think it's good defending from Kilmarnock. Robbie Dees knows he's there, he holds his line well, he comes in from behind Dees, but he's well aware of the run, and it looks as if it's the correct call.
A scare there for Kilmarnock, but brilliant news for your old side out in Bergen, Stephen.
Yeah, unbelievable. I thought Brann were a really good side, but late in the game in Paisley they showed a little bit of weakness. St Mirren didn't play well on the night, but they had the belief that they could go over there and cause them a lot more problems with playing well. And what a massive goal, and the context of tie to Isi Olasanya's was, and it's proved now all square over in Norway.
So 2-2 in aggregate between St Mirren and Brann Bergen. 3-2 Kilmarnock leads going into the final quarter of an hour in Tromso. Their lead intact after Leo Cornick's goal was chopped off moments ago. Just looking at a replay of that Alex Jakaviti goal, towering header at the back post. It was climbing highest inside the 6-yard box, and St Mirren level against Brann Bergen. Kilmarnock looking to hold on to their advantage here, but they are under pressure once again at the edge of the box. A good challenge by Watson and knocked further clear by Stuart Finlay. Fraser Murray now just lifts it over the top of Barry, looking to find Kennedy, but it's a good lunge there from Mamadou Barry to knock it out of play, otherwise Kennedy was in.
Brilliant from Fraser Murray though, real composure, gets the ball and turns once or twice, gets his head up, sees the run from Kennedy and plays him in. It gets Kilmarnock up the pitch, exactly what you want, that composure from Kilmarnock on the ball.
It's thrown to Kelly midway inside the Tromso half, and they haven't been up that far for too long. And I think it was quite a lengthy check there on that St Mirren goal. Fortunately it has been given, and play has resumed out in Bergen. Play here has about 14 minutes left. Tromso against Kilmarnock. It's Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1. Joe Wright's 11th minute header, still the difference between the sides. 3-2 Kilmarnock lead on aggregate. Can they just keep going and find their way into the Conference League playoff round? It would be a massive result for Derek McKenzie. You could not overstate how big this would be for Killie to get through this round, as Norheim picks up on the left-hand side for Tromso. Tries to weave his way into the box. Lyons gets a foot in, but it's still Norheim forced back out of the box. Over, then it comes in Donnelly, and then Joe Wright, I think it was, who got it clear. But Norheim's picked up possession once more. Then Hjertodal trying to get through a couple of challenges. Kilmarnock holding firm, and then Robbie Dees just launches it down the left-hand side. One for Kyle Vassell to chase, but Barry's there ahead of him, and he just knocks it back to his goalkeeper. 77 minutes almost on the clock, and Kilmarnock still have that 1-goal advantage, but Tromso have had virtually all of the ball in this second period, and will come forward again down the left-hand side. It's tried to get into the box there from Nordas, but repelled initially. Then that seemed to come off a hand second time around, and the referee, I think, has ultimately given that one against Brad Lyons for a handball. So it will be a free kick just a few yards in from the touchline on the left-hand side as Tromso come forward. I think it's the correct decision, to be fair to the official on this occasion, and it's a dangerous area for Tromso to have a free kick.
Yeah, it is a real dangerous area. It looks as if it was a stray arm from Brad Lyons when the ball was coming into the box, but Kilmarnock just need to keep their concentration here. The defence has been ever so good. They've defended for long periods, but these set pieces have been a real threat against Kilmarnock, so they just need to make sure they stay with their men, because this is a dangerous position.
Yeah, it's only a few yards out of the penalty area on the left-hand side, about 10 yards from the goal line, so it's a really good angle to be able to put in a dangerous ball. And Kilmarnock will have to be on their toes, not least the goalkeeper Robbie McCrory, as they look to hold on to this one goal advantage that they have on the night. It's Hertog all over it, swings it into the back post, it's off the bar, and Kilmarnock scramble it clear, so close to the equaliser, but Kilmarnock survive, and now they go in the counter-attack. It's Fraser Murray leading that up against Cornick, and it's knocked out of play by Murray, and it was Mamadou Barry, I think, at the back post, who got on the end of this free kick off the bar.
Wow, you just can't believe he's not scored. It's one of those incidents, you see it coming at the back post, Vassell gets cut underneath it, he has to score. Kilmarnock, we've spoken about it all night, they can't keep giving these free kicks away because they're so dangerous, Tromso, and it should be 1-1.
Yeah, it really should be 1-1, but thankfully still 1-0 Kilmarnock. 3-2 they lead on aggregate. You can imagine that if they've been under pressure for most of this second half, it's only going to increase in these final 11 minutes or so in Tromso. But crucially, Kilmarnock still have the advantage. 1-1 out in Bergen between Brann and St Mirren, 2 apiece on aggregate. That one might be heading for extra time. I think we'd be able to bring that to you if this game's finished. Extra time out in Bergen. Should that one go beyond the 90. Here Tromso, though, looking to take this one at least into extra time, perhaps even win it within the 90. But Kilmarnock have stood firm, albeit they've been capped in their own defensive third for the most part. Here's Norheim looking to keep them there just at the moment. It's Wright, and both Murray's out there as well, closing them down. Back it goes as Tromso keep on the heat. Nordas out there, headed away by Lewis Mayo, helped on by Murray. Again, it will be picked up by a Tromso body in the shape of Goodall.
He's been a real threat, Norheim, since he came on. Really, really dangerous on that right foot.
Ball's knocked into the penalty area again. This time it's Robbie Dees getting the right foot to it. Hasn't got it properly clear though. Norheim and Murray contest it. Murray knocks it out of the penalty area. Be picked up once again though by Ruben Jensen out to the left-hand side. As Tromso try and get it back in to the danger area. Left-hand side they have it. Vassell back there working away. It's a woeful effort, we'd have to say, from Goodall. It was trying his luck from a good 30-odd yards, and he plays it well over the top. And as we enter the final 9 minutes of the 90, it remains Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1.
Yeah, Kelly will be delighted with that. All of 35 yards. I don't see him beating Robbie McCrory from there. A wild effort. But yeah, we're just watching back that effort from Barry, the header from all of 2 yards. I can't believe he's not scored. Thankfully, that little bit of luck for Kilmarnock. They react really well to it and get the ball cleared when it pops back into all the bodies, but they're going to need full concentration. Tired minds, tired bodies out there. It's going to be a big 10 minutes for the Killie players.
Sure is. Barry plays it through the middle, looking for the run of Cornick inside, but out to the edge of his penalty area comes Robbie McCrory, looking to keep his first clean sheet in Kilmarnock colours, having been beaten in each of the 5 appearances he's already made, conceded 11 before tonight, but clean sheet is intact for now.
I think they need to take a lot of confidence and belief out the last 2 attacks from Tromso. What a shot from wildly far out, and then an aimless ball through. They seem to be getting frustrated. They can't get through this brick wall, so can they take a bit of belief from that?
Norheim has it back in his own half for once, but he's played it forward. And now it's picked up by Elian. Forward once more, he continues his run, but across comes Dees to clear. Helped on there by Lyons. He'll get it back from Vassell, tries to play it forward again. It's going to fall nicely for Kennedy. He's challenged by Cornick in the halfway line. It's a free kick Kilmarnock's way, and they'll take these decisions all day long as Kennedy stays down on the ground.
Yeah, perfect for Kilmarnock. Kennedy does well initially. Vassell lays it off the line, so the deflected ball falls into Kennedy's path, but as soon as he feels the touch going forward, just falls over, buys the free kick, exactly where Kilmarnock want to be.
Still one each out in Bergen. That must be a phenomenal performance from St Mirren, Stephen, given the quality you said that Bran had last week.
Yeah, I'm not watching the game. Obviously, every time I look up, there looks to be a yellow card. So I think the Bran players were right, and they spoke before the game what kind of fight we're going to have.
Alex Grog gets the latest to pick up a yellow card. Kilmarnock have this free kick just inside Tromso territory, and it's launched in towards Kyle Vassell, who rises well, but although he gets a glance on it, it's going to just trickle behind for a goal kick. We've got 6.5 minutes left in the 90. They could feel pretty stretched out as Stuart Finlay has picked up a yellow card for something along the way. But Kilmarnock, can they just see this rest of the game out with a 1-goal advantage intact? Norheim plays it infield, little dummy. Elian gets it into the middle. It's Nordash trying to make something of it. Donnelly on the edge of his own 6-yard box just takes one touch, then thumps it clear. Now it's Vassell, one-on-one for a moment. Can he get the better there of Goodall? Back comes Barry to try and help out his teammate. Vassell has played out to the left-hand side for Kennedy, who's tripped once more, and the referee awards a free kick to Kilmarnock. Cornick can't believe it. But again, Kilmarnock just being able to buy these couple of free kicks could be so precious.
Firstly, brilliant defending from Finlay at the back, and then they managed to get the ball up to Vassell, who does phenomenal as he has all game. Held the ball up really well, just waits for Kennedy to get up with him. Kennedy looked a little bit frustrated, but again buys the free kick exactly where Kilmarnock want to be.
I'm afraid there's been another goal in Bergen, and it's not good news, Brian McLaughlin.
No, it's a goal for Bran with just 6 minutes left on the clock. It's been a persistent pressure from the home side. The cross came in across the goalkeeper, and there was number 23, Tor Pedersen, to nod the ball into the back of the net. 6 minutes left, Saints up against it now. They trail by 2-1.
Here's a chance for Vassell to finish it. Vassell, he just couldn't get control of it, and the defender able to clear before Vassell can knock it into the back of the net. Anders Jensen, the man who was able to get the cover after a slack back pass. Looked like Vassell was in for the second, and somehow Tromso clear their lines.
I don't know what he's thinking there. I don't think he realises the time he's got. I don't know if he's been caught by surprise by how it's felt to him, but he has to shoot. I don't know why he needs the dummy. What an opportunity for Kilmarnock.
He does a little stepper, as you say. I don't think he needs it. He just needs to take a touch with his right and on his left and just fire it, because he's 5-6 yards out. Just get anything on target. I think it's in the back of net. A huge chance for Killie.
He's been so important for Killie as well. He fully deserved it. I mean, all he really needed to do was make decent contact with it, and he sends Kilmarnock into the next round.
Yeah, that would have sealed it, surely. There is a check going on in Bergen, but the goal is given, and I'm afraid, and St Mirren do trail again by 2-1 on the night. 3-2 on aggregate with just 3.5 minutes left of the 90 there. 4 minutes left in Tromso, with Kilmarnock leading by a goal to nil. Vassell could have buried Tromso there. He was just over elaborate when he didn't need to be. He's played so well leading the line tonight, but his goal scoring touch evading him just when it was most required. So it's still that narrow advantage going into the final few minutes in Tromso, and it's a home side pressing once more for the leveller that would take it into extra time. They have the ball out on the left hand side, trying to get the ball into the box. It's eventually out to Norheim, up against Joe Wright, cuts onto the right foot again, plays it to the back post. Cornick up there, but Dees able to beat him to it. Barry's won it though on the right against Kennedy, tries to get it into the box, comes off Dees, and it'll be another corner. And Brian, there's been another goal in Bergen.
Another goal for Bran. This time it's number 20, the substitute, on a head bay. It came just after a very lengthy offside check for that last goal, Al, but this time Higby, no doubt about this one at all. He buried the ball beyond the Saints keeper. Saints are heading out of Europe. It's 3-1 Brann here in Bergen.
Yeah, and 4-2 on aggregate. That one is Tromso sending another corner kick. That one's well defended. Comes back out to the right hand side to Hierto Dahl up against Kennedy. Takes a deflection off Kennedy, but kindly into the arms of Robbie McCrory. And he won't be rushing this one too much, albeit he is in a yellow card, so he can't delay too much. But Kilmarnock so close, agonisingly close now to the victory, as Robbie McCrory continues with the ball in his arms and then eventually releases it and launches it long. It's gone straight out of play, and it'll be a Tromso throw-in over on the far side as Joe Wright has gone down. Looks like he might need a bit of treatment. There's going to be a Tromso change here, and it's Barry who has been replaced, and on will come Heine Larsson, who's another attack-minded player replacing a defender. Well, they've got to go for it now, Tromso. It's all or nothing stages really, with a couple of minutes left. Joe Wright has been asked to leave the field of play if he wants treatment by the Romanian referee, and in fact he's going to be replaced here by the looks of it, and on will come Rory McKenzie for the final couple of minutes as Joe Wright troops off, and he might well be the match winner.
Are you giving him the goal again?
I never took it off. I'm just saying that, you know, it's a big deflection. Anyway, ultimately, who cares? If Kilmarnock get through, then they won't mind if it's taken off him, I'm pretty sure.
It's a blow though to lose Wright in the closing stages when you think of how dominant he's been early. I think Brad Lyons will go to right back, and Mayo will move in one, but a big blow to lose him.
It's Tromso coming forward down that left hand side. Challenge comes in, and it's going to be a Kilmarnock free kick. It was Heine Larsson, the substitute, who committed the foul.
Yeah, Lyons does really well, just gets his body in front, draws the foul, goes over, quite happy again. It kills the game for Killie. Just take their time, make sure the ball ends up in the Tromso half.
Final minute of the 94 minutes to be added on at the end. 4.5 minutes then left to play in Tromso as Robbie McCrory prepares to take this free kick from just outside his own penalty area. Down the right it goes. Watson wins the header. Comes to Fraser Murray. Can he hold on to it? No. It's Tromso who pick up through Larsson. Play back into the middle for Hierto Dahl, who goes back the way. Really just playing two at the back. Now Tromso's here they come forward. It's Hierto Dahl once more, just to get a little tug there from Donnelly. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to get sent off, even though it's just a couple of minutes to go. But Kennedy's done well to win it for Kilmarnock. Takes his side up the park, holds on to it. Cornish with him, but he goes back to Donnelly. Donnelly plays it to Dees. He'll just go down that left flank up towards Vassell. It's too high for him, and all the way through to the Tromso backline, and it's Jakob Haugaard beaten by Joe Wright's 11th minute header, and that's how things stand going into stoppage time here. 3-2 Kilmarnock leads on aggregate. They are on the verge of what really would be a phenomenal result, but still a bit of work to do out in the north of Norway as Norheim picks up once more and tries to test Lyons in at right back now. He's gone through a couple of players. Back the way goes Fraser Murray. Gets the crucial touch in there from Rory McKenzie, actually, who slid in the end to help out Lyons and knocks it behind for another corner.
It's really good work from Rory McKenzie. He sees that Lyons is struggling in the 1v1, gets back to help him, helps his teammate out, concedes a corner obviously, but really good defending from Rory.
1-0 Kilmarnock lead.
He's a threat, Norheim, absolutely a threat.
Yeah, he's been a lot better actually in this second half than he was in the first half at Rugby Park. As Hierto Dahl sends in the corner from the left-hand side. It's glanced on there by Goodall, but he can't get any real good contact on it, and is tamely behind for a goal kick, and that is music to the ears of the Kilmarnock fans. 1-0 they lead, 3-2 on aggregate with a couple of minutes of stoppage time to play.
Yeah, listen, it's just concentration, discipline. Every inch of energy you've got, use it in these last 2 minutes. Listen, Kilmarnock have worked so hard last season to get in this position, to progress in European football, and they've got the opportunity.
Back back to Jakob Haugaard once more in the Tromso goal. Just under a couple of minutes left to play. Tromso will feel they can create at least one more chance in the game. They've had one chopped off. They've been unlucky in hitting the crossbar, although Mamadou Barry will feel he should have scored when he had the opportunity from just a few yards out. Here's Vassell with Kennedy. Kennedy now for Watson. Kilmarnock able to get up the park. Back out to the left-hand side for Kennedy. It's good, intelligent, experienced play. Kennedy just needs to take this to the corner flag. That's exactly what he's trying to do. He's under pressure here from Goodall. Down at the flag on the left-hand side. He hits the deck. No foul though. In fact, it is a foul, but it's a free kick the way of Tromso as Kennedy tried to keep the ball in his possession, and now he's down holding his head. And there's a yellow card being shown to Watson and Goodall there, I think, for whatever went on down in the corner flag. Kennedy just needs to pick himself back up and get back involved. The referee now is going to see to Matty Kennedy. He's gone down, I think, holding his left hamstring now with cramp, but he's back up. And
he's been brilliant tonight though, Matty Kennedy, going forward again, taking responsibility, wanting to keep going, takes in the corner. Yes, he doesn't get the free kick that he's looking for, but just that responsibility, staying on the ball when it's difficult, and the work rate that he's put back the park as well, so important for Killie.
Goodall definitely catches him with the back of his knee there as he's trying to hack the ball out from under Matty Kennedy. Almost the 4 minutes have been played, but there will be a little bit more added on for that stoppage there, so probably about another minute to play. Kilmarnock leading by 1-0 on the verge of advancing to the Conference League playoff round. Fraser Murray into the book for dragging back his opponent there. Right on the halfway line, he'll concede the free kick, but it's better than allowing the Tromso player to advance. So a free kick here, but 10 yards inside
as well.
Yeah, 10 yards inside the Kilmarnock half, to be taken by Haugaard, the goalkeeper. Right into the mixing, the melting pot it goes, and it's off the head of Lewis Mayo, and it's going to be a corner, and they're going to throw everything at this one. Surely Jakob Haugaard will come up for this.
This is it.
One last big header, Killie.
The goalkeeper right up and right on Robbie McCrory, and the referee is going to come and just say to him, you can come up, but you have to keep your hands down here. You can't go too close to the goalkeeper. So it's a right hand sided corner, in it comes, out swinger, back post ball, it's well defended, breaks to the edge of the box. Norgard gets it back out to the left hand side. Norheim teases it into the back post. 95 minutes played now. Cornick back into the penalty area. Haugaard still up there. Kilmarnock get it clear once more. The Kilmarnock players and the fans, they want the whistle. It's not coming yet from the Romanian referee. Back in it comes, off the head of Dees and behind for a corner.
Yes.
But no, it's not a corner because it's the full-time whistle. And what a result for Kilmarnock. They have come to Tromso in the north of Norway and taken the victory, a 1-goal victory, thanks to Joe Wright's first half header, has proved to be the difference between the sides. It was a defensive rearguard action for much of the game beyond that, but the Kilmarnock fans across there who have made the trip absolutely delighted, and well might they be. Their first victory in a European tie since 2001. I don't think too many people gave them a chance going across there, level in the tie, having witnessed the first leg, but they have done an absolutely brilliant job out there. To a man, they were excellent. And Joe Wright's first half header has taken them through to play either Banik Ostrava or Copenhagen in the playoff round. That one has gone to extra time. But Kilmarnock care not at the moment whether they're going to the Czech Republic or Denmark. All they care about is they are through to the playoff round. It finishes Tromso 0, Kilmarnock 1, 3-2 on aggregate.
Kilmarnock in the UEFA Conference League qualifiers.